Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another polymer clay video at keepsakecrafts.net. Today I'm going to show you how you can use polymer clay and some rubber stamps to make this beautiful bracelet incorporating a scene across all the tiles. So the first thing you need to do is decide what you want your base color to be. The color on top that you saw in the pictured bracelet is Gilder's paste, and we'll add that at the end. So the color of clay will be the color that will be the impressions of your stamped images. I've chosen a mixture of one whole package of Sculpey Soufflé in Cherry Pie and half a package of Primo in Alizarin Crimson to give me this nice deep red. And you want to roll out that clay on the thickest setting of your pasta machine. The next thing you'll need to do is make yourself a template. My Patreon supporters can find this on my Patreon page as a free download, but you can certainly draw your own. And what I did was use an index card, because an index card is 6 inches wide, and that's about what I need for my bracelet, because there'll be space in between the tiles with jump rings and then a clasp, so that'll be just about right. So then I measured, this is about 2 3/4 inches at the widest and about 1 inch over here, and I drew a nice curve on one, folded it in quarters, cut it out. But you could make any shape you want. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. It could just be a rectangular, whatever you want. So you're just going to place that on your clay and roughly cut out one layer. Because we're going to put some fairly deep impressions in this clay, we're going to start with 2 layers so that it won't be thin and weak in any spots. Remove the excess clay and then go roll this back through your pasta machine until you have another shape that this one will fit on top of. So now I have my other sheet of clay, and I'm just going to pick this one up, place this down, make sure it's nice and smooth. Place this down and just start at one end and kind of lightly press it down. And if it doesn't meet, if you don't have a full double layer, then go ahead and reposition. You just don't want to be trapping any air bubbles in there. Right, that should do. I'm going to give it a little bit of a roll with my acrylic roller. And then set this aside for a moment. Now the next thing I'm going to do is lay out my stamps on my template. And I've already divided my template into the divisions that I want. This center section is 1.5 inches. These 2 middle ones are 1.25 inches, and these outer ones are 1 inch. But you can divide yours into however many looks good to you. And then I have this set that I really like from Inkadinkado. It's called Asian Influences. And so I'm just going to use my template. Place your stamps, the part that you would ink side down, right where you want them to be. Keeping in mind, the dividing lines, I'm not going to put the lady's face across the dividing line. She's going to be kind of the focal, so she goes in the center here. By the way, I tried to use Google Translate to see what this said. I didn't want to use something that I wasn't sure didn't say anything offensive or strange, but I couldn't find anything. If any of you know that it says anything at all, I would love to hear from you and find out just what it says. Just going to continue laying out your stamps, kind of filling up that space. You can see, I'm not really interested in the Buddha, but I kind of like the swirls. That's sort of interesting. And then I think I'll use the bamboo over here. And then what you'll need is an acrylic block like the type used in rubber stamping. Now mine isn't quite big enough, so I'll save this for later. And then I'm just going to press it down on all my pieces, and it should pick them all up just the way I want them. Now I have back my clay, and I can press my images. I'm just going to double check with the template so I make sure I leave enough room, just about like that. Okay. And then just press down firmly. I'm going to press a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit left, a little bit right. I'm standing up and just gently rocking it. I want a kind of deep impression. And there you go. Oh, that's cool. And now I'll just add the bamboo and use that to kind of fill in any spaces that might need it. Now at this stage, you're not committed to anything. So for example, here's one I did earlier, and I decided I really didn't like the way these branches came out. They left all this space around them, which I didn't like the look of, and they also had a very strong halo of the rubber stamp that I didn't care for. I didn't mind it in the other pieces where it showed up, but on this I didn't like it. So this I actually sent right back through the pasta machine. Make sure you do it textured side out until you get it flattened so that you don't incorporate air bubbles from these depressions. And then start over again. So I'm back with it all trimmed and the excess clay removed. And if you notice, this looks a little bit different than before. That's because I actually redid it. I thought that the two thickest layers from the pasta machine were just a little bit too thick. So I made that second layer a medium, like a number 4 or number 5 on the pasta machine. So now all you need to do is cut your tiles. And the best way to do that is take your template and fold along 2 of those lines, and then fold one back, lay your template down, and then just use your clay blade to make a nice straight, again keeping the blade nice and perpendicular to the work surface, nice straight cut. Fold the other one back, repeat. Flip your template around and repeat on the other side. And now it's time to bake your tiles. I like to give them a little bit of curve while they're baking. So what I have here is a toilet paper roll that I've cut in half, and it makes just a nice gentle curve. So you can place your pieces on there, smooth out any rough edges now, and go ahead and bake them at the manufacturer's recommended temperature for 30 to 45 minutes. So here you can see my pieces have all come out of the oven, and I've started to finish up the bracelet. I just left this center panel to show you what I've done. There are lots of different ways that you could finish this bracelet. You could fill in these spaces with all sorts of faux enamel effects or paints or whatever, but I'm going to do it just very simply by going over the raised surfaces with Gilder's paste. This is the color Antique Gold, and I like to use my finger. It just seems to be the best applicator. So you just rub a little on your finger and then start off with a very light touch. If you press too hard, you'll risk getting the paste down into the details where you don't want it. And also, doing it lightly, you can see you have this almost sponged effect. It's kind of pretty. And if you feel that you need more at any point, you can add more layers, but it's tough to go back and take it off. So you just keep applying this. Now this is a wax-based product, and if you let it dry for 12 hours so that it's completely dry and set, then you can buff it. If you try buffing it before that 12 hours is up, you'll just end up wiping it off. And then I'm also going to put a pretty heavy application on all of the edges. And I think that will just really finish it off nicely. And so there, now the details of my scene are all highlighted. A baby wipe does a great job of removing the paste from your fingers. The next thing to do is to drill the holes in order to add jump rings. And you always want to take just an awl to mark the holes before you drill them. That will keep your drill bit from skipping. And this is just a 1/16 inch drill bit. It's the smallest size that I can find at my local Home Depot. And I've just left one more here to show you how easy it is to drill polymer clay. It goes right through, try to drill straight through, and you can kind of push it back and forth a little bit to clean out that hole. And then what I have here are 8mm jump rings. So you'll just drill holes about 1/8 of an inch, 4 millimeters, from each corner of your pieces. and then attach a jump ring to each corner. And then you could see over here I've attached those jump rings together with 4mm jump rings. Added a few more jump rings on the ends and a clasp to one side, and your bracelet's all done. If you're interested in the supplies I used in this project, there's a link in the upper right to go to the accompanying blog post, and also in the description box. So I hope that you enjoyed this project and that it's given you some ideas for using maybe some of your texture sheets or rubber stamps to create a bracelet cuff with a scene. If you like my videos, consider becoming a patron. You can support this channel by sending $1 a month or whatever you can afford. Check out my Patreon page for details. And if you're new here and haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do for 3 new video tutorials each week. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Here's another look at the project we made. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share, and leave me a comment. Happy creating. Bye-bye.